Hello and welcome to my second episode of Unfinished Business with me, Amani, and my amazing guest today is Jordan, aka
JAYVSOP.
I'm broke, baby. Yeah, that too.
JAYVSOP.
Okay, why don't you start by telling us a bit about who you are and what you do?
So if I had to describe myself, I'd probably say content creator, mainly create financial sort of content, money saving tips, anything to do with business making money, business. Yeah. I try to make content on that. I'm also a business owner. I have a business called Sold Souls. That's my longest running business. And yeah, I'll just say generally I'm just a hustler, just trying to make things happen.
Yeah. So you say you're a hustler and you've got so many different things going on. When did you start and why did you start?
From the beginning, or
take it back, back.
I'll start from, I left school, done an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Then I started a business with the money from my apprenticeship. Then my business, I promoted it mostly through social media. So back then, first of all, Facebook, then Instagram. And then I got really good at Instagram, like got all my followers up on my business page. Then when I saw TikTok started popping off, I tried to take my business onto TikTok, but then it ended up becoming like a personal channel because people were beginning to
recognizing you.
Yeah, they were getting more interested in me than the shoes. Like, there's only so many times you can show shoes before people are going to start asking questions, like other questions. So then I transformed really from a sneaker page to a personal brand. And then when I started giving out little tips and like people will be asking me like, oh, what shipping boxes to buy and how do I register this, how do I register that? And then I just thought there was a need for me to actually have a solid platform to give my tips on. Then I created the Instagram page, and then that's where I am now.
So do you consider yourself a bit of an influencer? I would say you are personally, and one of the biggest as well in the UK that gives out
the biggest.
No, one of the biggest. I think like finance business people. There's not many to be honest.
I mean,
there's like 5. You can count.
It's just when you say influence, like kind of the idea in everyone's head is like Molly May,
true.
Like fashion. True. It's like it's weird when you use influencer in the terms of say like finance. Like you could say a money influencer or a finance, because if I do say okay, this credit card has a new deal, it's likely that people will get it. But I don't know, influencer. I prefer content creator, but yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, when you've built a platform that like yours, I think you can get away with calling yourself an influencer. But when you were doing your apprenticeship, or when you were, I don't know how many years ago, at that point, did you ever think, this is going to be my life? I'm going to be a content creator. I'm going to make TikToks for a living, pretty much.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was the shyest person in school, the shyest person. I mean, you can tell by my mannerisms, I'm not, I can talk, but as in, I'm an introverted person. So in school, never thought, even in my apprenticeship, I never thought I'd be on a camera to people every day telling people how to save money. In my personal life, I've always been that person. People ask me, because I've been independent from early, people ask me, how do you do this? Where did you get discount for that? Oh, I need to go on holiday. What's the best website to get cheap holiday? So in my apprenticeship, I thought I was just gonna get a job at the end, which I did, and stay in that field at least for the rest of my life, I guess, because engineering is a good career. It pays good money. The hours weren't bad. Everything about that career was solid. So there was no reason for me at that time to think I'm going to do otherwise. But when I started to get more money, it opened up my eyes. I had more options where to put my money. So I first started investing, say when I was 18. I put some money in a bond, and then I put some money in gold. And then that was the first ever investment I made. Then sneakers was like the next thing, but it was more of a hobby that turned into a business by accident. So when that grew, it kind of outgrew being a side hustle. So I had to make a decision. Am I going to grow this business or I'm going to continue with an engineering career? And I weighed up all my options, and then I just continued with growing my business and left my engineering career.
And it does happen. It does happen when you start something that you think is going to be on the side, and it does overtake your main thing. And it's like when you're at a crossroads, how do you make that decision?
It's a very hard decision. It's not something you take lightly. Like you need to,
especially on a big, massive salary, like, and somewhere that's stable.
I mean, the salary is an incentive, but it's not the main thing. Like I always say, you need to live within your means. Like people always say, lifestyle inflation. It's a real thing. If you go from earning £20,000 a year and you keep the same lifestyle when you're earning £50,000 a year, you're not going to be scared to lose that job and go back down to 20, because nothing in your life is going to change. Like a lot of people, they don't like other people to know that they're not doing well. But imagine now, I'm on £50,000 a year. I could probably afford a nice watch. Could probably get a leased Range Rover, nice car. Yeah. I could probably rent a nice apartment. But then when I'd done that, then I went to start my business and I had to give that all up. Everyone's going to be like, oh, you fell off, like you're broke now. But because I've always maintained being broke, it didn't make a difference. It doesn't matter. I went from earning £50,000 a year to earning nothing because I didn't pay myself for the first year. But no one would have known the difference. I still went on holiday because I had a little bit of money saved up. No one would have told the difference. Like if I told you the day before I quit and a month later that I'm earning zero, you would not know the difference. But you need to have a plan in place. So as I said, I had money saved up already. So you need to have an emergency fund. They say 3 months worth of your bills. So a minimum 3 months. So have an emergency fund, have a goal before you leave. If you started a business, you need to make sure it's a long-term sustainable business. So you need to be hitting monthly targets, sales-wise, customer-wise. Like you need to be hitting that before you even think of leaving. So once you've done all that and like you've made a decision, I'm going to take the risk, just to minimize the risk, make sure you have everything in place, and then it won't be as scary if you fail and you have to go back. At least like you've had your contingency in place and you're not just gonna, be homeless after.
Yeah, as much as people say stuff like, you see your TikTok gurus and stuff like F a 9 to 5, like whatever. When going for something like starting your own business or going down your own path, you do need to have stuff in place that keeps you safe. Like don't just be stupid and think that, okay, I'm just gonna jump into it. Like Jordan said, if you end up homeless, that's a you problem. That's something that's horrible, but it is a you problem. But
you sounded like
Molly May.
No, it was.
That was like if you're homeless, just buy a home.
Yeah, just buy a house. Yeah.
No, but seriously, you should. Like, it's dangerous to see online that people are just like, just do it. Your job.
You need to be.
You need to be smart about it.
You need to be realistic. Like, at least if you're gonna just jump into it, like I
have a plan.
I know. You know what I always say about Deliveroo or Uber Eats. If this is a serious thing. If you're gonna quit your main job, your 9 to 5, your career, before you quit, sign up to Uber Eats. Just get your application in. It's like £40, and then. Oh my gosh. No, but if you're low, if you're running like if your business is struggling and you're running low, you can just turn on the app and do a shift and get £70 or £60. Like you need to have backup plans in place because, like, the last thing you want is to make a decision. Do I take the last £50 out of my business to buy food, or do I leave it in my? That shouldn't be a decision you make. Like you have to have a plan B. So
that's when there's perks to like starting young. I think because I started so young, I was still living at home with my dad, and my dad was not about to kick me out anytime soon. And he was putting food in the fridge. I wasn't. I never had bills to pay. So when you're young, it's less of a it's less scary to go down your own route than the traditional one.
Like you got somewhere to live. Really. If it all fails,
If it all fails. Thank God I didn't. But speaking of fails and
somewhere to live.
Not somewhere to live. Okay, this is my favourite part. It's where I tell you what one of my followers is struggling with, and you give me a little bit of advice. So I asked these guys about side hustles. Somebody said, it's a pretty generic question. Somebody said, I'm 18, I'm a uni student. What's a side hustle you can recommend for me?
Okay, for uni students, I normally have a side hustle I recommend, but can't do it on YouTube. It's not OnlyFans.
It's not. It's not OnlyFans. It's not. We don't do that either.
So if you're 18, you're in uni, you need that money now. Like, of course, if you've got your own business that you're trying to build up or your own little, whatever brand you're trying to build up, you can do that on the side. But if you actually need money right now, like I mentioned before, the easiest way to make money, Uber Eats, Deliveroo, sign up. You can do a shift whenever you want. It doesn't sound like a side hustle, it sounds like a job, but if you need money, you need money. Second of all, depends on like what you're good at, but a lot of people are doing video editing now. So if you're good or if you're good with Photoshop, if you're good with Canva, offer your services out to other people. There's so much content creators out there now. There's an abundance of content, and even myself, like I'm pretty good with making content, but I'm having to outsource little bits and pieces to other people because there's so many platforms you can't be sitting there all day just
and
clipping
especially
up
if
little
you're
bits.
like a media student, an art student, photography student, whatever, you're going to have skills like Photoshop or whatever else you use, and if not, you can get your head around Canva. I think we use CapCut. You can use CapCut for video editing.
You don't need
anything professional.
You can be I don't even know what uni degrees are. You could be like a midwife or whatever and know CapCut. If you're below the age of 24 and you can't get your head around CapCut, like there's something wrong there. Just
something you're struggling
download it, find content creators, DM them saying, I can edit your video like this. Find like, I don't know, like a YouTube channel, and you notice they don't have a TikTok, saying I can clip out for TikTok and you'll get you this like amount of engagement if I edit like this. Just put yourself out there because you've got the skills. It's not hard to learn these skills. So you can learn these skills so quickly and start making money within a day of learning that skill. So just put yourself out there.
Did you ever do delivery?
I didn't.
You just order from Deliveroo. You just
I don't know where this myth has come.
Yeah.
I got an air fryer.
That's worse.
Yeah, but it's still cooking.
Worse.
But I do order.
But tell us about your house. Buying your first house at 21.
What? Because Deliveroo.
Yeah, because you always deliver.
Because I'm always getting so
we always get takeaway.
Yeah, so I mean, anytime I post about buying my first house, it has like a contrasting sort of like reaction. But anyway, the story as I just said earlier, I had an engineering apprenticeship. It paid well during the apprenticeship. And then, the final salary I've said was 50K, whatever. So I had some savings from the apprenticeship, and obviously I had my side hustle as my sneaker selling business. So I saved up the money for 4.5 years, let's say, from 16.
I think you mentioned as well, you aim to save like £1,000 a month.
Yeah.
That was the aim, the goal.
I aimed, so from the get-go, I think my starting salary was like 1,200 after tax a week. And I aimed to save £1,000 of it, but obviously like I went from school to earning a job, and then like your mum's not going to let you earn £1,000 without like taking her cut. So it ended up being like first year maybe like 700, 750. Then after the second year like 1,000, and a bit more. So I was able to save a good amount of money. I saved about 40,000 for the deposit, and it was about 40,000 for the deposit, and then another 10, 15,000 for fees, renovation costs, everything like that. That was when I was 21. So a lot of people on like anytime I post a video, they're like, "There's no way you can do that at 21." Like, it's possible. It's definitely possible.
It's difficult.
I know not everyone's going to get a job that pays that well. However, I did, and that's my story. I can only tell my story. Like, I can't tell you how someone else got their house. Like, I can only tell you what I earned, how I done it. If you earn less, you have to save more. That's the reality of it, really. Like, because when I got my mortgage, I was on such a good salary, they would have lent me up to, I think, £200,000. £200,000, because I could have got a house that was worth more than I did, but the house I got was kind of undervalued because it was in a bad area, and it's got like a new... And
it needs to be done up as well.
It needs to be done up, and it's got a new train line coming through, so there was more potential for growth in that house than if I just bought a ready-made £270,000 house
in a nicer area,
in a little bit of it wouldn't have been much nicer, but a little bit of a nice area. So that's how I was able to get it. I bought a cheap house in a cheap area. Not everyone wants to do that. If you don't want, like, not everyone has the skills to renovate a house themselves. Like, I mean, because I was an engineer, I had a little bit of skills, and not everyone can do that, but at the end of the day I could. So that's how I could save money on that part of it. And then since then everything's been going well with the house. So
and that's what you do as well when you're a hustler, is like you're not paying anyone. You're thinking, if I can do this,
you make things happen, innit?
Yeah, you just make them happen.
It's sometimes not even about money. It's like, if you need it done today,
is anyone going to be able to?
It has to get done today. Like, if I like, so some things I couldn't do myself. So like the carpets, I couldn't do myself, and like say the worktops. But all the prep work I had to do myself. And if I got a carpet fitter coming in tomorrow, and all the floorboards ain't prepped for him the day before, I've got to do it myself. Like I can't just wait for someone to come and hold my hand and do it. Like you just got to make it happen. Yeah.
Gotta get it done. Okay, give us one little gem, one piece of advice for someone who is trying to save up for a house.
Oh, that's a good one. If you're trying to save up for a house,
think of it not as like someone who was on an engineering salary like you. Think of it as someone who's working at Amazon or something. How is someone with a lower salary going to?
You know what? Yeah, you say that. People at Amazon probably earn more than everyone else. Like you Amazon workers, especially if you do night shifts, you earn so much money. Like they earn so much money. They earn like £20 an hour after night shift. So true. they could probably do the same thing. But like say imagine you're working £15. You're working and getting £15 an hour. It's like your career, so it's not like a part-time job. I would say if you can, obviously if you're still living with your parents, that's one way to save money. If you have to go out and rent, you're going to have to be realistic. If you're renting and you're trying to save for a house, don't rent a whole apartment, rent a room. Like if you're trying to save for a house, all your monthly expenses can't be going out, and then you can't complain after, I don't have enough money to save at the end of the month. Like you, at the end of the day, you choose living in your own house is a luxury. You chose to live in the luxury of living in an apartment by yourself. You could have got a room,
a house share or something,
and saved 600, 500. You chose not to do that. So you're going to have to cut back. So cut back is probably the best tip. Like cut back. As much as you think you're doing your best, you can do better. If you need to get down to the nitty gritty, change your phone contract, stop ordering delivery. Ideally, you don't need to do that. You focus on the big. You focus on the bigger savings.
Oh yeah.
So like the biggest one would be your accommodation.
Or even if it's like if you just have a job, look into your side hustles. Like get delivery or do your little bits and bobs on the side. If you have time.
The thing you don't need a side hustle. What I would say for a side hustle is, if you don't want to cut back on your luxuries, you don't have to live a miserable life. If you want to spend more money, make more money.
Yeah, exactly.
If you enjoy your free time, then cut back. If you enjoy spending your money going out with your friend, just make more money. And it's not like a but it's,
if you don't have money, just make some.
It's not like an ignorant thing saying get a better job. It's put more time into a part-time job. There's so much jobs available now. Like there's a labor shortage right now. Right now is the easiest time to get a job.
So make more money. As odd as it sounds, if you want to spend more, you've got to make more. Yeah. So how do you make more? So but they say, hang on. They say the average millionaire. Not that you're a millionaire. Not that any of us.
How do you know I'm not a millionaire?
Oh, you might be.
No, I'm not a millionaire.
Nah, you're broke. But the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, right? How many have you got?
That's what they say. The streams of income is a bit of a tricky one because I have aspects of my work
that overlap
that have different streams within them. So my main source, you always need to focus on building your main income. So for me, my business Sold Souls pays all my bills, like my mortgage, whatever, and then after that, that's where the side hustles come in. So social media for me now is a side hustle, I guess. And then, it's
also pretty much one of your main jobs.
It's pretty much full time. I do put full time hours into it, but it counts as a side hustle, I guess. But within social media, you have, say, you get ad revenue from different platforms. You might be able to get brand deals. You also can do affiliate marketing. So there's technically 3 streams within that social media. Then also, I'm trying to think of what else I do now. You know what? I do actually do work with podcasts. So create content for them. So again, that's still within social media, but it's a different service.
Yeah, it's a different type.
I've done loads of things, in the past. Some side hustles don't last for long. It don't last for long because the trend ends, or it don't last for long because, I've seen that it's not the best use of my time. So I've done like paid Discord groups. We even done a paid Telegram group. And I don't include like crypto and stocks because I don't trade.
I mean, some people do. They say that.
If you're trading, then but I'm not trading. I'm holding. I've traded in the past, but I wouldn't include it as an income. So I would say right now 4 or 5 solid streams of income, but you don't need 7 streams of income. I know I'm not a millionaire. You don't need 7 streams of income.
7 is a lot.
Focus on your first one. Once you get your first one to a good amount of money, then think of the second one. But what you should try to do is make your streams relate to each other. So it's not all complete different businesses. They can overlap. You can use, different...
And skills that you learn in
skills,
one can help with the other.
You could use all the skills from one and just transfer it to the other. So it's not you put in 10 hours in, you're just putting 3 hours into this one, 2 hours into that one. So yeah, definitely focus on your first one first.
That makes sense. Thank you for that. It was lovely to have you on. Thank you guys for watching. You're not going to do a little outro, are you? Not going to say I'm broke, baby?
I thought you were going to do the outro.
I'm going to say I'm broke, baby.
Yeah.
But I'm not. It's yours.
I'm broke, baby.